something we said to them? Is it something we said? I'm trapped in a bio world where the endings are the same as every other. We're only here today. I'm losing my only dream. I can use some guiding light, some place to go. You hear me? Let me know.
Let's begin. Welcome to the block. I am your host, Kyle Johnston. It's for the late night addicts, early morning coffee drinkers. You can find my work on Twitter at KJ_the block. Find my work, my blog site, KyleJohnstonTheBlock.wordpress.com. I got a couple podcasts coming out for you today. I had one a little delayed yesterday. I was just down at my parents' here, and the Wi-Fi internet, it slows things down when you're out in the country here. It slows things down. Not quite back in my apartment in Oakville, which I've been making some trips back and forth. I decided to film this and try to knock out a couple birds with one stone, so to speak. But basically, we'll be talking about an interesting topic. One of my good friends, Brian, basically, we get chatting as the late night hours approach and the early morning sunrise approach. Usually, it's usually in the wee hours of the morning. Usually after we've been out, we get talking, and he brought up the fact that he thinks the Earth is flat. He doesn't think it's a heliocentric Earth that we live in, or a sphere. And I didn't really respond to him too quick. I had to kind of look at him a couple times, because he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy, but he believes in conspiracy theories. Some are just a fucking little too out there. Some are a little too out there. And I think this is one of them. So we kind of got into it a little bit. Obviously argued. Had a couple drinks. Argued. Kind of gave my point of view. Kind of gave his. And then, so basically he challenged me to find proof that the world is round. So I did a little digging. I kind of forgot about it for a bit with school and everything going on. But I did a little digging this morning. And I just didn't want to get some amateur guy named whatever off YouTube or whatever trying to explain something or whatever. So I tried to find some experts. I was trying to find some guys that knew what they were doing, kind of, some physical proof. To walk the walk is a lot more than to talk the talk. So Brian, I did find some proof. And the world is not flat. For all those people who think the world is flat, I don't even know where to start. And I'll leave it at that. Because you're wrong. You're idiots. The world is not a perfect circle. No, it's not. But it is definitely a 3D object, and it is somewhat in the shape of a sphere. Just like any other planet that we see in our universe with multiple telescopes from multiple companies. Now, NASA does own a lot of the rights to the images of Earth, so it's kind of interesting to try to find images of Earth. And I'll end with that. So I'll try to bring some hard facts for you right off the hop here. So basically, the first thing I thought about was the stars. The stars. And I've traveled, and I ain't no astrologist or astronomer, but I'm not stupid either. And I do know for a fact that when you're in the southern hemisphere, you can't see certain constellations or certain stars that are in the northern hemisphere, and vice versa. And I do, and this is my hard fact for you, Brian, and to prove that the world is round, is that you can see certain constellations in both hemispheres, and they flip like a fucking mirror. You know, if the world was flat, you'd be able to see all the constellations and all the stars just from a different viewpoint. It'd be a different angle. You'd be able to see them all if the world was completely flat from that sky above us. But they flip. Go look at like the constellation around Orion's belt and stuff like that. Here, I'll pull it up here. Hopefully my internet wants to cooperate. And like usual, whenever I want to use the internet on my podcast, because usually I know most of the things up in my head, it doesn't want to cooperate. But anyways, I found a nice little article and about the constellations right here. Come on. And it led me to the work about Alan Dyer. Alan Dyer is a photographer. He's an astrologist. You know, he studies stars and constellations. It takes... Yeah, so it's in the Orion's belt. They're talking about the Betelgeuse star and the Regal star, and they flip. Like .com, it'll show you a thing or two about constellations and star patterns, and basically proving that this world is round. The other thing I like to talk about is triangles. In this heliocentric world that we live in, if you were to walk in a straight line for a certain period of time, take a 90-degree angle, walk in the same exact distance take another 90-degree angle, and then walk in the exact same distance, you'd start off where you started from. You'd end up where you started from. You got me, Brian? So, in our world, you walk for a certain distance, 90-degree turn. Same distance, 90-degree turn. Same distance, you end up where you started from. If this is a perfectly flat world that we live in, if you were to do that, if you were to try to do that simple experiment, you would have 3/4 of a square. And you would not end up in the position where you started from. Simple. Try it. Take a little styrofoam ball and try it. Like, that's all you got to do. You can draw it. You don't even have to physically get up and do it. So come on, internet. Come on, internet. So yeah, go check out Alan Dyer. Check out the triangle theory. Now, another one is eclipses, especially lunar eclipses. The way the shadows progress across both objects proves that the world is round and not flat. Go look at it. Watch a lunar eclipse. Watch it. Do some observational research and physically watch it yourself next time there's a lunar eclipse. Take a look at some of the images taken by scientific researchers and amateurs and compare them, and they are generally the same. Yeah, so basically it's stating watching the moon's cut by the curve of the Earth's shadow offers proof we live on a sphere. So go check that out. Go check out some lunar eclipses. They'll show you a thing or two. So that's just some more hard facts. Go check it out. And I'm actually looking at the Astronomical Association right now. So this is where I'm talking about lunar eclipses from. Pretty cool. Pretty interesting. It definitely shows a sphere. I can't deny it. even in 2D. Even they try to show you in flat that it's a sphere. It's yeah, can't deny it. Another one is shadows. You got to look at shadows and stuff like that. You can do some simple experiments with shadows, like the guy that basically what's his name back in Greek time. See if I can pull up his name. I could barely pronounce his name. I'll see if I can say it. We all know about Aristotle, but there was another guy that did a experiment with the sun in two cities. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find his name. So basically, this guy back in the Greek time, he was trying to find out how big this Earth was. And he actually estimated the circumference pretty damn close by doing a simple experiment. He took high noon at one city on one of those sundials that marked the shadows, marked it out, marked the time of the day, went to the same city 500 miles away, at the same time, looked at the sundial, marked down the shadow, and then he did this triangle down to whatever, and then he could start to come up with the circumference. It was pretty fucking wild, pretty simple math. I'm not a mathematician, I'm a journalist. Trying to find you guys that name without losing some of my research here. Started with like an E or something like that. It was bothering me like Quentin Flowers' name last night. Whatever. But yeah, those guys back in the day weren't wrong. Aristotle, Pythagoras. Anyways, I'll keep searching for that guy's name. I got a couple other ones for you too, Brian. I got a couple other ones for you too. So I just went through a few. And the big one basically is I should have just got to it right away. The big one basically is when you're watching ships on the horizon, man. You could see the curvature of the Earth because they disappear from the bottom up. You know what I mean? They disappear from the bottom up. And the last thing you see is the mass. And Christopher Columbus and all these sailors back then, they knew this. They knew this. Not only did they do this when they had to avoid like pirate ships and etc., etc., but fucking when he was trying to get to India, he knew this because Africa was in the way. And they didn't want to go below Africa and stuff because there were some treacherous waters down there. So he knew that if he could sail west and keep sailing west and go all the way around and end up in India. And then to get back, he would sail east and go all the way back around and end up back in Spain. And he could avoid having to go below Africa, towards Antarctica, towards some treacherous water. Make it a lot safer. It may have been longer, but it was a much safer. All those sailors and navigators. Go look up some Christopher Columbus things. And the other thing about buildings and stuff on the horizons, I was watching one YouTube, and one guy was trying to dispel the belief that the world is round. I've been reading all these crazy nicknames they got for people like RE or round earthers and the flat Earth method or module or whatever and whatever. The guy believes that the Earth is flat. He was trying to show pictures and stuff like that. Like he had this diagram drawn, right? Person, building, but unfortunately the person was the same size as the building, which was hilarious, first of all. And he was trying to draw the viewpoint over it. And he was stating that's this bay or whatever out in California or something like that. And basically we had to set him up. Like, the bay is only like 20 miles stretch, but the diagram on the picture, the guys would have been like thousands and like 3,000 miles apart or something like that if you were to mathematically break it down. When I was listening to it, and then the guy showed the bay that he was talking about and the viewpoints he was going to show on his camera. And then he showed it from the camera, and he was zooming in on these buildings that we were supposed to see, and these buildings technically were supposed to be like kind of leaning, but the idiot, by zooming in with these multiple steps, it was showing the curvature of the Earth because the buildings were disappearing from the bottom up. And then when he got to the final one, he was talking about it. You couldn't see the bottoms of the buildings. You could only see like from like whatever story up. And if the world was perfectly flat, you'd be able to see the street and everything like that. You see the doorways, you see the street, you see the bus stops, you'd see the street signs, you'd see the cars, you see the front door. So Brian, don't be telling me this world is flat. I've heard a lot of crazy stories come out of your mouth. Some I believe, some I don't. Some of the alien ones are interesting. The giants roaming the earth. I don't know about that. But there's a lot that I do believe in with you. Do like the stories, do like the confrontations. I'm sure the wife doesn't like the arguments because they do get loud. And I will back it up. I just gave you some blatant fucking reasons. Trying to find a couple more that I might have missed. You know, you can go check out time zones. I don't want to get into that because I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. But I'm going to end with the last one. The last one that I cannot dispute is just go look at fucking images, man. Go look at images. Yeah, NASA may doctor them, and yeah, they have admitted that they doctor a lot of their images and stuff like that. They're saying for safety purposes, national security purposes, whatever. Do I believe NASA? No. Do I believe a lot of other government institutions? No. I think they're all bullshitters. And that's a problem we have. But do I think the world is round? Yes. I'm looking at a photo of the Earth right now, and it looks pretty fucking round to me. Pretty fucking round to me. I would think if the Earth was flat and it was so big, it would take up most of the fucking photos, man. It'd be like a fucking rectangle. Somewhat. I could see it curving, baby. Like, you know what I mean? I understand it could be a circle and flat. I do understand it could be a circle and flat. But you know what I mean? It just doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like that. And I understand the darkness and the blackness of space makes it fucking interesting and eerie. But yeah, just go look at a couple images. That's basically where I'll leave it at that. That's my last denying proof, man. Just go look at a couple images. We'll check a couple more out. And I'm trying to avoid like NASA and all that stuff, right? I'm trying to find like some of that Hatfield guys and that's fucking encyclopedia shit. I got some Alan Betts, atmospheric researcher guy, and he's got a bunch of photos, so, Just trying to avoid the cliche going to NASA and stuff like that. And even though probably a lot of these images are somewhat from NASA, because they do control it. I understand that, Brian. I understand. That's the thing about, that's the power of conspiracies. They're so vague. They make them so vague, and you guys have such little details and such little end game that's the power of them. And I do, I like my conspiracies just as much as the other person. But man, the Earth is round, Brian. The Earth is round. It's a 3D object floating in this vast thing we call the universe around some burning object that would incinerate us if we fucking went near us and may blow up any given day, and then we're fucked. But that's enough about the world being flat and round. Very interesting. I can't really believe people fucking argue about this and waste their time. To be honest with you, I can't believe people waste their time. But whatever. Whatever. Attack me now. I think the world is round. 3D sphere. And I'll close it off. I did find some Matthew Boylan guy, Brian. I did watch his interview. He was a former computer graphics, he worked for years creating photorealistic computer graphics for NASA, this Matthew Boylan guy. And he's got an interview and he goes on to rip him, but the interview is kind of, it points out a lot of things that make me start to question this guy. Like, he was an artist, he's not like a scientist or anything like that. I went to some interesting universities, including one up in Canada. Do I believe him? No. Do I believe he likes some attention? Yeah.
Part of the deception, we'll let him in on the next project, the next contracts that we want him to falsify, the next images we need him to counterfeit.
How many people were told the same information in the
These
company?
guys were all privy to it, but these guys were all high-placed people at NASA and the U.S. Defense Department.
The only problem I have with it is I'm struggling to... Because it's the AtlanteanConspiracy.com. See, that's who put it out. That's my only problem with it, Brian, is go check out the AtlanteanConspiracy.com. I can't find too much credibility about them. They are what they are. They're allowed to voice their opinion. I believe in free speech. But their backgrounds, man, it is what it is. I wouldn't be believing them too much, to put it that way. Put it that way. Like, if they were credible, all good. I'll even check out their website right now. Atlantean Conspiracy, exposing the global conspiracy from Atlantis to Zion. That's right at the top. So you're going to start believing these guys. And basically it's a blog. It looks like somewhat of a WordPress site. Something that I run, A lot of other people can comment on it. Looks like they can post stuff. They got some videos. I saw the Flat Earth Conspiracy. They got a couple books. I don't really see an About Us section. I'm still looking. They got a lot of links. Looks like some guy, Eric Dubai. Who's Eric Dubai? Eric Dubai works at Bangkok Wing Chun. Attended local public indoctrination center. Lives in Bangkok. So this guy lives in Bangkok. Works at Bangkok Wing Chun. I don't know what the fuck Bangkok Wing Chun is. But this guy's telling us whether the fucking world is flat and shit or whatever, running this Atlantean conspiracy or whatever. He's their head Google Plus leader. And they actually have a book by him, it looks like, advertised up here. Eric Dubai, Spiritual Science. Looks like he's got a whole bunch of others. He's got the Flat Earth Conspiracy. I think this is by Eric Dubai as well. Yeah, Dubai. Eric Dubai. So I think I have a strange feeling he runs this website. And he's got some stuff about the NASA moon landing, the moon and Mars landing are hoaxes. I'm more interested in what the hell Bangkok Wing Chun is. Do some investigative journalist on the fly here. Looks like it's like a meditation center. Meditation, kung fu kind of center or whatever. So, yeah, I guess it is what it is. Pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious. So, I'll leave it at that, Brian. Leave it at that. But anyways, we had the NFL on the weekend. Didn't really get to it in my last podcast that I'll put out here. But, that New York Giant Carolina Panther game. Wow. A lot of talk. Norwood, OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. A lot of talk about those guys' attitudes. A lot of talk about the physical play, cheap shots. And, yeah, I don't like to see any players get hurt. They're both pretty damn good players. Norwood is probably the best cornerback in the game right now. They seem to come and go like running backs right now. Even though the other guys, like Darrelle Revis, he's still doing his thing, and Aqib Talib's still doing his thing. Sherman over in Seattle, he's still doing his thing. But this guy's a newcomer on the block. He's got an attitude on him I like too. He's got a chip on his shoulder. Norwood. Oh, Norman. I'm all confused in this round earth thing. Yeah, Josh Norman. Sorry about that, Norman. Sorry about that. Yeah, Josh Norman and Odell Beckham Jr. just fucking went at it, man. Nasty, some old school football. 1980s style football. Hands in the face. Little palm smacks in the face. That little running spear by Beckham Jr. was pretty nasty. But the knee was just as bad afterwards. But I enjoyed it. A lot of people are saying, should this be in the game, etc., etc. Obviously, the referees didn't do their job. They should have ejected at least one of them, if not both. But in the end, it was enjoyable. It was fun to watch. Not only was the game pretty good, the Giants storming back, tie it up late, and then the Giants did what the Giants usually did. They suck. They suck in crunch time on defense. Defense lets them down usually every time. They come back, storming them back late, but they shouldn't even put themselves in that position. But time and time again, it's just the Giants being the Giants. Storm back, and the defense just says, hey, just waltz your way in. Just walk your way in. There's no sense tackling you now. We've already shown that we can come back. Show them we got some heart. That's all we need to do. Collect our paychecks, go home. But, yeah, but Norman went at him just as bad, man. Norman fucking went at him just as nasty. But, got him off his game. He's clearly off his game. Especially the whole first half. Definitely worked in the Panthers' favor. But the Panthers took their foot off the gas. They thought the game was over. They thought they were just going to fuck around and walk in for a couple more touchdowns. And the Giants were going to quit and it was over. But it's not what Eli Manning does. Like, I'm not a big Eli Manning fan, but the guy seems to battle. He makes his fair share of mistakes, but he battles. Sure battled back that game. But I don't mind that stuff being in the game. Obviously, the spear shot on Norman's head probably shouldn't be in the game. That was nasty. But I don't mind the headshots to the game. I mean, the hand blocks to the face, the hard blocks. I don't mind a couple of the other stuff, grabbing the guy's foot, and a couple of pushing afterwards, after the whistle and stuff. But the 2 shots to the head, yeah, that's probably unnecessary. That's how guys break jaws in this game. Surprised Norman didn't go down. He's a tough little fucker. He's a tough guy. Tough, small little guy. He's not nearly as big as like Sherman or like Nakeeb Talib. They're pretty big corners. Even Brendan Browner last night, man. Oh, did he lay a shot? On one of those excuse me, on one of those Lions receivers. I think it was Megatron. Oh, did he lay a shot on Megatron last night? He's a big cornerback, Brendan Browner. Played for Calgary Stampeders. But so that's what I think about it. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I had the Giants that game. I don't know what the hell I was doing taking the Giants. So I was naturally furious at Beckham Jr. I was just like, come on, man. Just put some fucking points on the board, buddy. Put some points on the board. Let's burn this guy. But Norman was up to the game. And hey, any PR is good PR, even if it's centered around this. Norman's coming out looking like a good guy, even though he did nail him with a pretty good knee. Kneed him right in the head pretty good. But he's coming out looking like the good guy in this. This is going to be good for Norman's image. He's obviously playing for he's playing for a new bank account. But I enjoyed it. I don't want to see it going anywhere. Probably get those 2 things out. Like, he should have been ejected afterwards. Both of them after that one little sequence should have been gone. But then that would have been the end of the fun. And seeing them all coming out with the baseball bats early on. Like, I didn't see that till after the game. Who cares? Who cares? Come on, who cares? Really? Like, does Beckham Jr. honestly think that the guy's going to walk over and hit him with a baseball bat with all those fucking cameras around? Really? Like, come on, Beckham Jr. That's a fucking poor excuse, man. It's a poor excuse, Beckham. Just own it up. You got rattled. You got thrown off your game. It was what it was. You'll come back. You're a pretty damn good little wide receiver. You'll be back. But you're going to screw a lot of people over in fantasy football next week if you are suspended. I know my friends in the finals. Actually, both my friends are in the finals. I was with one of them last night. And he's pretty excited. But my other friend, he's got a Beckham Jr. So I don't know what he's going to be doing. We're going to have to watch the appeal process, closely. Like, the Giants have to win the next game, right? The next game is more important than week 17. Like, they have to win next game. Because if they don't win next week, then the last game of the year means nothing. So if Beckham Jr. has to play in any game, he has to play in the next one. And then just roll the dice. Roll the dice in the last one. Because he's going to get suspended sooner or later. So he might be playing this week. He might not be. I say he is. I say he's in the lineup. But we'll see what Roger Goodell does. We'll see. He's a big fan favorite. Once again, put in the position of judging a fan favorite. People want him in the lineup for fantasy football and gambling reasons and for pure entertainment reasons. So it's going to be interesting. But I say he's in the lineup. I don't know how Norman's not getting fined or anything. I don't know how he's getting away with everything. I really don't know how he's getting away with everything, Norman. But he is. It is what it is. And he did a good job at directing the center attention at Beckham Jr. And Beckham Jr. talking about the baseball bats and stuff. Did a good job by himself, put the attention on him. So it's his own fault. With that being said, I'm just going to run through a couple quick sports picks for you. A couple quick sports picks. And then we'll get out of here, and I'm going to see if I can post a couple of these videos. I got one about Jose Mourinho and the Blues. I got one about yesterday, which, about sports picks and just some stuff. It's kind of irrelevant now. I tried to get it uploaded, but it was just taking forever, and I was getting frustrated. So I just said, you know what? We'll just try it a different day. But I'm just going to get to some sports picks for you, and I'll rattle out all these podcasts. All right. So there's a big college board tonight. Lots of college basketball tonight. And yeah, I guess we're gonna have to get this internet working. Come on, internet. There we go. There we go. We're back in business. So I just want to get these numbers correct for you here because there's a lot of games I'm even leaning to right now that I really like. So, all right, let's see if we can rattle through these. So let's go right to the college basketball. And we got some good games today. We got some good games. First game that caught my eye is Iowa State and Cincinnati. Two pretty good college programs playing in a neutral stadium. We're playing at the Fifth Third Arena. The Cyclones are 9-1 on the season. The Bearcats are 10-2. The Bearcats in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's laying 5 points. Total in this game is 146. I'm gonna take a shot on the Iowa State Cyclones at +5. I think it's gonna be a pretty good basketball game here. It's gonna be a back and forth. As usual, Iowa's putting up points, averaging 84, almost 85 a game. And Cincy's playing their normal defense, giving up just under 60 a game, 59.5. So you got that classic matchup of offense versus defense. Excuse me. Iowa State, they're 5-1-1 against the spread in their last 7 on the road. And they're 4-3-1 against the spread on the season. Cincinnati is 3-4-1 against the spread on the season. Cincy is 10-2, like they said, in their last 12 on the season. So both teams have got off to a good start. Cincinnati's pretty powerful down low. The only thing I don't like about the Bearcats is they never seem to want to control the game. They usually play to however the other team wants to play. And they don't mind slowing it down all the time. All the time. So I think Iowa State's going to be able to put some points up on the board, and I don't think Cincinnati's going to be able to keep up. Iowa State hasn't particularly played the hardest of schedules, so this is going to be a pretty good test for them. They lost to Northern Iowa in their last game by 2 points. So we're going to roll with the Iowa State Cyclones at +5. Iowa's, they're hitting at 51% of the field goals. So I like that compared to 45 for Cincinnati, which is usual. Which is usual for these two college programs, especially Cincinnati. Cincinnati usually struggles at the free throw line. And they struggle with their field goals, especially from distance. So I like the Cyclones to jump on them, especially giving me 5 points. I think they'll be able to hang tough, if not win this game outright. So I'll be on the Iowa State Cyclones at +5. So we got Xavier. Xavier's been a pretty big powerhouse this year. Ranked 6th in the nation. They're laying 7 points on the road in Wake Forest. Total in this game is 154. Wake Forest is, they've been playing a lot of high-scoring basketball games. They can put the basketball in the hoop. The same can be said for Xavier, but they play a little bit better defense. Much better defense. They're giving up 62 points a game on defense compared to Wake Forest's 78. With that being said, though, Wake Forest is at home, the Demon Deacons. So I look for them to show up. I'm going to take the Demon Deacons at +7. Wake Forest is 5-0, straight up their last 5 games at home. I think they're going to be able to hang. Like Xavier's pretty tough down low. They got a nice little 3-point shooting team because they draw so much attention down low. They get a lot of space. But Wake Forest is athletic. They like the run and gun. I think the running and gunning is gonna push Xavier to a whole new place. I don't think they've had to run and gun too much this season. Well, they're gonna have to run and gun tonight. Wake Forest is still grabbing. They're still grabbing, what, 30, 40 rebounds a game. So there's not much of an advantage there for Xavier. Xavier's been a pretty damn good rebounding team. Xavier's pulling down 14 offensive rebounds a game. That's what they're averaging, so it's pretty good. But I'm going to take a shot with the Wake Forest Demon Deacons at +7. Another game I really like. Colorado. Colorado's hosting Penn State Nittany Lions. Buffaloes are 10-1 on the year, putting up 85 points a game. Penn State's doing what Penn State usually does. Slow down the basketball. Playing half-court basketball. No rush. Play some solid defense. And squeak out victories. That's what they've been doing. 63-57 win at Drexel. 54-50 at Louisiana Monroe. Yeah, Canisius. Canisius is Canisius. Same with Eastern Michigan. Nothing to be special about. They did put some points up on them. But the Buffaloes, they've been scoring at will. Buffaloes, last 5 games, they haven't put up anything less than 85 points. BYU put up 83 points on them, but that's the only team in the last 5 to be concerned of. When you're looking at the Colorado Buffalo defense, they're a pretty athletic squad this year. They're going to be one of the better teams. Sorry, they're going to be one of the better teams in the Pac-12. So with that being said, I like the Colorado Buffaloes at -6. The total is 138.5. I'm not going to touch it. We're starting to see some money coming in on the Buffaloes. It's up to -6.5 now. So if you like the Colorado Buffaloes, jump in on them. The last play I got for you right now is Iona. Iona's on the road against Cal Santa Barbara. It's a 3 o'clock tip-off. So by the time you guys see this podcast, it's already going to be in progress. But this game caught my eye right away. So the Iona Gales, they're laying 4 points. Sorry, the Iona Gales, they're laying 1 point. Sorry. They're 1-point road favorites. Total in this game is 150.5. The Iona Gales, come on, they're just the much superior basketball team in this game. They're 4-4 going into this game. Santa Barbara's 2-7. Iona's putting up 82 points a game. They are giving up 79, so we're seeing some fucking barn burners. Seeing some thrillers with the Iona Gales. But Santa Barbara, they're putting up a pitiful 65 points a game. They're letting their opponents get away with 74 a game. They struggle rebounding. They struggle with their field goal percentage. The field goal percentage, Santa Barbara is sitting at 42%. They've lost their last 5. Iona, they've had a tough little schedule here. On the road for a couple games. They're on the road at Marist. They're on the road at Tulsa. They were finally at home against Texas Southern. Then they're back on the road against Rhode Island. Put up a good game in Rhode Island. They lost 79-74. They put up 81 points in Tulsa. They put up 101 points at Marist. So I look for them to come gunning. And I just don't think Santa Barbara is going to be able to keep up with the Iona Gales. So I'm going to take the Iona Gales at -1. The Frozen Pond tonight. Some hockey action. Getting geared up for the World Juniors. I'm going to have a little preview of that. Probably on my next podcast. Sounds like a good idea. I've been doing a lot of research. Just write some stats down. Now most of the teams are confirmed. But on the Frozen Pond tonight, one game particularly stands out for me right away. That's the Ottawa Senators on the road against the Florida Panthers. Senators are coming off a loss against Tampa Bay Lightning, their last game. You know what I like. I like to watch that Florida swing. So I'm looking at Ottawa to take down the Florida Panthers tonight. Panthers are -150 favorites. Over/under is 5.5 pucks. I like Ottawa at +130. Craig Anderson's playing some good hockey right now. Carlson's leading a pretty good defense there in Ottawa. I kind of like their defense. I think that's always kind of been their strong point. Stone up front, he's starting to slow down. So they're gonna have to rely on the Zibanejad. Torres, he's starting to slow down. Like Zibanejad's gonna have to step up. Bobby Ryan's gonna have to step up. They're gonna have to carry some of these young guys. Hoffman's not doing what he did last year, but he's still having a quality season. They're gonna be hanging around in the playoff at the wild card spot. Ottawa. They're gonna be fighting. They're gonna be fighting for it. I don't think they're gonna get in. I really don't. I think I just have a strange feeling about the second half for Ottawa because I'm looking at our division. I'm looking at Montreal, Boston, and Detroit getting in for sure. I can't see Ottawa leapfrogging any of those 3 teams, and Tampa Bay and Florida. Like we have a pretty tough little division. That's why it's nice being a Montreal Canadiens fan. That we padded those points while we can. I'll save my venom and vile towards the Canadiens because we've been playing like losers. We've been playing like guys that are entitled to winning, that we just have to show up at the rink. It's been brutal to watch. The last 3 games have been pathetic. It's pathetic defense, leaving our goalies to hang out to dry, or forwards leaving our defense to hang out to dry. Our defense can't make a fucking pass to our forwards because, our forwards aren't in the right spot, and our defense can't make a fucking pass, too. So, it's just everything right now. The dressing room is staying positive. We got a lot of guys hurt. Petrie's hurt. Gallagher's hurt. Price is hurt. We got other guys that are banged up right now. So, we just got to we got to right the ship a little bit. We got to right the ship. We got to win today in Minnesota. But, this is getting me distracted from my play. So I'll get on some more Hab talk maybe after this. But my other play tonight, the other one I like, is the San Jose Sharks. They're on the road in LA. Not really on the road too much, but I guess they're on the road. San Jose Sharks are on the road in LA to face the Kings. Now the Kings are just getting off one hell of a road trip. They just got shut out by the Toronto Maple Leafs. And usually, teams coming off a long Eastern road trip from the West, they get home. They last played Saturday. Today is Tuesday, so they got home on Sunday. They're still human beings. They got to do the family stuff. They got to do their bills, etc., etc. You kind of get into a little comfort zone, right? Maybe a little too comfortable. And usually they come out sluggish in the first game back. So that's why I'm going to be playing the San Jose Sharks. They are on the tail end of a long trip as well. But they've been putting the puck in the net. That's why I like it. That's why I like this situation. They've been putting the puck in the net. So I'm going to take the San Jose Sharks on this. The Kings are actually minus 175 favorites. Total on this game is 5 pucks. I'm going to take the San Jose Sharks at plus 155. Another game that kind of caught my eye on in the NHL. Similar situation to Ottawa and San Jose is the Vancouver Canucks. They're in Tampa Bay. Vancouver lost their last game to Florida. Tampa Bay won their last game. You know what I like about that. Vancouver is coming off one hell of a long road trip too. So I don't know if I want to get too greedy, but I do have a strong lean to the Vancouver Canucks tonight. Now the same can be said about the Buffalo Bulls in NCAA college basketball. They're taking on VCU. VCU's minus 13-point favorites right now. But I think the Buffalo Bulls are going to be able to hang with them. I really do. I think the Buffalo Bulls will be able to hang. I think the Arizona Coyotes hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight is a nice little play. As well, they're sitting at minus 115 on the money line. Leafs are coming off a 7-4 victory in Colorado last night. It was an exciting game. Bozak had a hat trick. Sun shines on a dog's ass someday. That's what I say. The Leafs are going to have some good games. Actually, the Leafs are playing better hockey. But, they are what they are. They don't even concern me anymore. It's kind of laughable sometimes looking at that organization. I guess they had signed Stamkos signs made up when the Tampa Bay Lightning were in town. And I think it was a media outlet in Toronto that made them up and distributed them. I can't even speak right now. Let me just take a sip here. They handed them out. Put it that way. I guess they handed them out, some Toronto media outlet. And I guess the Maple Leaf security, the MLSE security at the Air Canada Centre wouldn't let them in. So that's just the atmosphere at the Air Canada Centre. That's what it is. That's why I laugh at it. Right then and there. And like I'll be common theme ending most of my podcasts. I wish everybody Merry Christmas. And I wish everybody a Happy New Year. And remember, if you're not laying the money down on the table, you're not winning.
Tell me what a young man what's got to live for. Tossing the shells of town, everyday war. Searching for some trouble, which I'm sure you will find. Spend your whole life fighting some, you're dying. It's a shame, Lord. It could be an only one. It's a shame.